Hey everyone, welcome back to Double D Vintage Baseball Cards. My name is Dylan, and I'm going to be showing some baseball cards tonight. I'm going to be doing rainbows, 3 cards, and I'm going to be doing I don't know how many rounds I have back here, 6 rounds. Going to go vintage, modern, and so on. And then the end's going to be a banger, like a sick, probably my favorite rainbow of them all. So stay tuned to see some just awesome cardboard. And then I'll dive in on just random cards within the rainbow. I'll set them up and then pull them from the rainbow. And this is a VR for Ken from Ken's Cardboard. My friend, my genuine friend, he's been in this room where I am doing this video. We hung out at the National, walked the floor together for 3 days in a row. I just followed him. I said, look, I just want to tag along and let you take the pace, because he took me we hit every single booth there for 2 days straight, I know for sure. And I just followed along with him, and we had the best time ever. And by the end of it, everywhere we saw candy, he would buy candy. And he has been the candy man ever since. So I'm supporting my friend. But really, this was such a great idea. I spent the last 2 weeks while I was surfing and everything, putting these rainbows in my head. What cards I'm going to choose for these rainbows. So it gave me something to look forward to and a great video to make. And I think he's doing it for 1,000 subs. He's at I just looked, he's at 980. This is a secret VR too. He didn't announce it. And so I'm just really excited for him. I really want to hit the 1,000 mark. I know subs don't matter, but getting subs, once you hit 1,000, I mean, you can get paid for doing card videos. I'm getting $50 a month, and I'm not trying to make the money. I'm just getting it to share my passion and my cards. So I can't beat that, right? And so let's get Ken to a Candyman Ken to 1,000 subs, so he can get that. He can start getting paid for his videos, even if it's $20 a month. So let's get right into it. So as you see, you got 1959 in front of you. Man, I haven't shown this card in a little bit here. Actually, you know what? We'll do this card right here. Frank Robinson. Let me pull this one out of its sleeve. Just get a better view. Yeah, I'm going to be doing shout outs all night. Got cards. I've got some pickups, I think, in this batch. And I got some gifts in this batch as well of the rainbows. And good stories. This one, shout out to John 3D80s Kid, because he just picked up a really nice copy of this card. Now, everyone loves this card. It's the black background of Frank Robinson. You could call this Frank Robinson's best card, but he has so many good cards. The 1960 rings a bell in my head instantly. His cards are spectacular. The 62, man, yeah, you just can't go wrong. So I got this baby right here, and I'm like, yeah, that's cool. Shout out a friend and share a card that I haven't shared maybe ever or in a long time. One of my favorite cards, like I say about all my cards, one of my favorite cards in my collection. Oh, I just love it. So there we go. Boom. There's my first rainbow. 1959. And I could pull up every single card here and show you guys in detail, but let's just keep the train moving. So next rainbow, let me put this one back in its sleeve. Just won't do this to all of them, but I wasn't even planning on sharing any of those 59s. I think you guys have seen these ones. All right, put that here. I'm all organized, man. I like it. All right, the next one is, I got another thing to share. I purchased this on Reindeer Studios Etsy store. Dude, I had no idea. He told me in a text or in a comment on his video that you could buy the ones that he was filming himself making, and I was like, wait, the original? I'm like, no way he's selling the originals. And they were $65 or something. And so I'm just like, what? I went right on there after, and the Mike Trout hadn't sold yet. So I actually haven't gone to Target yet. Had this on my desk for a couple weeks. And I'm waiting to get another frame that I have his Ted Williams in, and I'm going to frame that up. That's going to go right above my desk. So we'll start with Mike Trout, because I know Ken loves Mike Trout too. And one of the first cards I started picking up, actually the very first Mike Trout I ever owned, was a version of, it was a 2012 Bowman, a regular Bowman Gold. Not a high value card. It was shipped to me by mistake, which is really cool. Let me see if I can get the, because this is rainbow bright, right? So I want to get the rainbow going. And so that got me down the hunt of Mike Trout. And I realized that his cards were affordable again. I mean, they weren't cheap. They're still not cheap. But this was after the crash. They went down further after this because last year he got hurt. But, these aren't that expensive of cards. And this being, I really stuck, pretty much my entire collection is all early stuff of his. I don't have a lot of the 2020 and beyond. And this card in particular just struck a chord, and I started buying some up. So this is the blue refractor, Bowman Chrome 2012 Mike Trout. This one's numbered out of 250. And I have more than what I'm sharing. I mean, I just, when I see them, like, I don't have to pick them up now. I don't have that force on me, like the devil on my shoulder going, yeah, dude, you got to get that one. That's the X-Fractor. You need it. No, I don't. I can hold myself back. I've been really good lately on really picking where my money's going. So that's the first rainbow. Mike Trout. Shout out to Reindeer Studios. And Mike Trout, man, having a really good season. He's got 10 home runs at this point. His average needs to come up, but the average is going to fluctuate a lot in the beginning stages with a little amount of bats. And he's been hitting the ball hard. Line drives. So I'm really stoked with what I'm seeing from Trout. This could be a really good year. He stays healthy and goes all the way. When I was 31 or 32, man, I was a machine. Like, I know he's got a back issue or something, but I think people underestimate young people, man. Dude, when I was that age, man, I wasn't even thinking about getting tired until I turned 41. And then I started, like, feeling a little bit. All right, let me set up the next rainbow. Now this rainbow's sicko. I will do like one of these rainbows because as I'm setting them up. Dude, so it's so funny. I was watching the trading on For Collectors channel. And Rabbi Dave had this with a pinhole. And I, for some reason, thought I didn't have this card. So I asked to see it closer. But it was actually the 59 that I had sold from my collection, because it was off-centered. And I still had, or I purchased this, I can't remember. I don't remember how long I've had this, because I forgot I had it, the 58. So, just a sick copy. I was so stoked after that live. I went and I go, you know what? Do I have that card? I went on my Google spreadsheet, looked, and I go, oh my gosh. So I pulled it out. It's a sick card. Yellow background cards, Sandy Koufax. What's not to love? And then you got to have you could call this Hank Aaron's greatest baseball card. This one and the Warren Spahn, which I sold my Warren Spahn. This is my 4th copy of this card, believe it or not. Like, trying to find the one for me. Had this one for like a year now, or a year and a half, or something like that. But I have come close to buying a couple more cents because it's not perfectly centered, but the image is spectacular. The color, everything on it. Because these are notorious. You can have like print dots, like that little print dot there. You can have them all over the place on 58s. You gotta really like that little guy right there. This is a really stunning example, but I want even sharper one. I want one that is perfectly centered. And I'll find one, but I also would like to get the yellow writing. So I'm hoping I find it and it's the yellow. But this card's staying with me for the long term. Unless I haven't found a better one since. I obviously don't follow them all the time. But man, I love it. I had one that I bought. It was a BGS or BVG at one point. Long time ago. And the thing came cracked in half. the case was cracked in half and the card was bent in half. Those BVG and BGS slabs, they may be thick, but I always talk about it. Everyone thinks they're strong. I think they're brittle. Yeah, thing was cracked in half, and that wasn't my only one that I've had cracked in half. So I was really bummed, and it was really nice. But I don't remember how centered it was because I wasn't in that zone. So I've had numerous copies. This card right here, this next one, probably one of my favorite 58 cards. I could say it about every 58 tops. But Orlando Cepeda rookie card. And this one I had ungraded. And I think I did a reveal when I got this graded. Had this in my collection. Just to find out, like, this was before I was a centering guy. And then to find, like, you go through your cards. I sold like half my collection, if not more, over the last 2 years during the centering kick. And this one, because it was ungraded, and then I got it graded at some point, but I would have sold it, but it's centered, and this card to find centered is tough. And with a nice image. It's not perfect image, but it really is nice. It is bright red, and I'm not upgrading this. I've never searched for this card since. I will not buy a different one. The centering on it is spectacular, and I know where I bought it from. The guy I've been friends with for like 7 or 8 years over here, Ernest, bought it in his box when I was buying up his collection, and he's collecting again, which is hilarious. I met him at a card show on Oahu, and I was with him, and he was buying all these mantles, and I was talking with him as he was like he liked the little higher grades, and then now he's like recollecting all the ones that he sold me and sold other people. Like, it's really fun to see. So look at that rainbow right there, Ken. Look at that. 1958 rainbow. Man, I could have made this rainbow long. I have a lot of 58s that are, 58s are ones I targeted in the beginning when I started selling them off because I just didn't want to be without them. And like the Warren Spawn, still to this day, I don't have another one, and man, I cannot wait for the day when I find the right copy for me. All right, back to modern, guys. All right, let me lay these ones up. Oh, this will be a fun one. So I got this right here. Gold refractors. And switch that case out right there. And Ken loves them all. Ken loves shiny cards. He loves vintage. He loves hockey. You name it, he loves it. But he really did want to see my finest collection. And I did have a binder that day I did that video. I knew I did, but I forgot to label it. So funny. So I just grabbed 3 finest cards, and I'm going to share a couple of them. But this one is a recent pickup. I'm trying to get one finest refractor from every year, and this one 1994 Frank Thomas, because he's my guy. I mean, when I was a kid growing up, it was Frank Thomas. When I was in my prime for baseball, this is the guy you wanted. I mean, this is the guy I always collected. Like, I loved him, imitated him when I was batting. And I got the 1990 Leaf set from my parents when I was a kid for my birthday, and it was like $200 then, like biggest gift I had ever received in my life. And it must have been, I must have been 10 years old, because it was when it was really expensive, maybe 11. And I got his finest refractor. I still need a 93, but so stoked to have this thing. And slowly working on the entire run of finest. It's going to take me years to finish a run, a refractor of every single one from every year. Let's see. Can't really get that shine on there. But I want to share this card right here. I got this. Shout out 4-Leaf. Eric sent me a gift unnecessarily. And look at that rainbow. He sent me this 2005 Topps Finest Reggie Jackson Gold PSA 9. Numbered out of 50, number 1. Or out of 49. Number 1. I was just like, no way. That is sick. And I had one. So what's so great about this, the Love Fest and our little world, it just gets so fun because people send gifts like that. And I had that card in one of my slabs right here. And now I can give this card away, which is awesome. And it'll be in my slab. And this one's numbered 31 of 49. So it's in my to be given away box, which is getting pretty big. I don't know where it's going, but I will pass the love on from Eric around, and I'll find the perfect home for that. And I'm just so stoked. So thank you, Eric. Shout out. And then, of course, you got the Goudey, one of the sickest Angels cards. Just stunning. In one of my slabs. Look at that. Finest, numbered. Check off 2010 off the list for like $10. Ooh, baby. That wasn't cheap. That was like a $150, 150, or 175 in between there. Something like that. Made an offer. It was not cheap. But I just couldn't buy anybody else but Frank Thomas. I was thinking Bo Jackson because he was with the Angels, but came across this and I'm like, you know what? I had the money in the eBay account. Boom. Bingo. Let's go. All right, next up, vintage. Oh boy. Dude, these are getting sick. Watch out what's coming up next. Put this here. Dude, I'm trying to stay organized so when I put things away, it doesn't take me an hour. Drink break. All right, Ken. All right, this one will be faster. Set these up. One. Switch stands here. 1980, my birth year. One of my favorite sets ever. Had to share a rainbow from 1980. You can do a rainbow from every year, which is sick. Vintage, everything. Look at those. Look at that. Pete Rose is so sick. Phil Necro. I pulled that card out randomly. I went through my binders. I'm not selling these on whatnot. I'm keeping all my 80s tops, but I'm selling all the graded 1980s tops I have. And I have a huge case of them. So I'm selling all my graded PSA slabs of 1980 tops, except for Ricky and like one other. And I'm anything that's slightly off-centered and everything else. Like I'm getting rid of it because I'm just going to keep them in my slab. So I'm going to upgrade these to my other slabs. But let's show this card right here. Joe Necro. I thought this card just popped out to me because he's showing the famous Necro knuckleball that the family just mastered. Look at the centering on this card. And you know me, every card in my collection needs to look like these. And I am digging my collection more and more and more every time I look at it. And like the sacrifices that I made to sell stuff and like take a chance, I'm really pleased with it. And everyone collect how you want to collect, but for me, my collection is just looking so good to me. Everything is centered. Look at that. Pete Rose. Oh my gosh. Ozzie Smith. Second year card right there. Really, you never see this card. And I just think it's just like the most glorious card. Reminds me a lot of Ricky Anderson's rookie. But it's Ozzie Smith's second year. I mean, that's a special card right there. I think second year cards are just sick. Look at the back on 80 tops. So shout out to 1980, the greatest year ever to be born. I did want to be born in 79 just to say it. But in all reality, to be born right in the middle of a decade like that, or, start of a new decade, I just think it's sick. In 1980, the greatest decade in history, it's like, at least for me, my life, I just love it. All right, going to back to vintage. Oh, you guys are gonna like this one. You set them up here. We're going 1933 Goudey cards that maybe you haven't seen, maybe you have. but it sure makes a nice rainbow. Look at that, Rainbow Bright. Ooh, I mean, is this not the coolest thing? I have a channel, a baseball card channel, that I get to just go on there and play with my cards like I'm a kid again and organize them. And yeah, you can do this by yourself, but it's so much more fun with friends out there. And you don't have to leave comments. I know that I watch tons of videos where I don't leave comments, and I know where people watch, and it's fun for me to share my passion for these and talk about each card. Like this card, this George Grantham, it has a story. Not only did I find out a little bit about this player, he's a really good ball player, like blew my mind. Technically, he's better than Lefty O'Doul on WAR, I think. Yeah, I think George Grantham has 33 WAR, but Lefty O'Doul is from my favorite NES game of all time, and that's why I always fell in love with Lefty O'Doul. I see his name, I'm like, oh my gosh. But this card, I pulled in a pack. Me or my friend Danny, who you saw in the last video. Oh, I guess I haven't posted that one. Me and him playing, my childhood friend, we bought cards together. I talk about him all the time. Me or him pulled this in 2007 Upper Deck Goudey. We used to call it Goudey. We had no idea. Never heard anyone say it before. So that's how I said it. And we pulled this in a pack. We pulled like 3 or 4, maybe even 5 of these, because we were buying cases and stuff. Just like, yeah, that's how crazy we were. So I got this graded, and it's forever in my collection. Now I wouldn't get this graded. I would have just put in one of my slabs, saved $15, and it would have looked even better in my slab. I mean, guys, I know vintage guys really love the black tuxedo, and yeah, it does look good right here. I'm not gonna lie, it looks sick. But I could see MagPro doing a black sleeve, like, Mangini recommended in a text thread, and I could see that just taking over the world. So let's look at another one. Like, I love Lefty O'Doul. I used to play him when I was a kid on Baseball Stars, the greatest baseball video game of all time. And this was fun. Like, this was when I first got on YouTube. I was buying these. I have others, and I had others that were ungraded that I've had over the years, and I got them graded and stuff. But once I got on YouTube, I'm like, man, yeah, I need to, everyone's showing these older cards, and I'm learning, and I'm like, wow, I can afford those. So I started looking at them, and these were like $100 and something bucks. This one, I don't remember exactly, was not that expensive when I bought it. And to have one, a 1933 Goudey, Lefty O'Doul, I mean, dude, the guy was the best player on Baseball Stars. Hit giant bombs every time he came up to bat. More than Babe Ruth, more than everyone. And he has like a 22 or 4 WAR. Didn't play that long. Didn't play that many full seasons. When he played, when he was on, he was on. Made a bunch of All-Stars. But then you got Goose Goslin. And he is, dude, way under, I mean, all right, you could say it anytime, but underappreciated maybe. 66 WAR, I think he had. And the guy, I think he's got a batting title. Not very many All-Stars, like unappreciated during his time. I think he only had like 1 or 2 All-Stars, which is nuts. Hall of Famer, the only one out of the 3 that's a Hall of Famer. Guy's radical. And look at that beautiful baseball card. So this was like my practice into like getting a Babe Ruth, right? You never want to buy, because I'm buying online, right? It's different if you're in the flesh. You could buy your Babe Ruth, your first one, if you have the money, or you can buy whatever you want, your first one, when you're in the flesh. But when you're buying cards online like me, like disregard this one because I pull in pack, you don't know what I'm practicing right now. So now I know what like a really beautiful Goudey looks like in a 3. Like, you can really knock it out of the park with a 3. Like, dude, I'll take this. I mean, this is like the sickest card ever, right? To know that, it gives me more confidence online, and it has. And I've been able to buy bigger cards because of that. And look at that rainbow. Ooh, man. Rainbow Bright. And you guys notice the difference. I have no idea why, or obviously different series. But both are 33 Goudeys, and one doesn't have big league and one does. And I always found that fascinating. So just really sick rainbow right there. Woo. Okay, next one. We're going back to modern. Back to modern. Hold up. These are my last. This is it. No, this is it. This is my last one. No. Oh, I wanted to hang out and share some more cards. All right, well, we'll do a... Dude, since it's my last one, well, that's kind of all I can go. Well, we're going back to Trout because Trout's... Man, I went on a Trout tear because I'm an Angels fan. I always wanted Trouts, and his cards were so expensive for the last 4 or 5 years. I'm like, well, I'm just way too late. And then the boom, that crazy boom happened. And I'm like, well, that's just ridiculous. I'm never going to own a Trout as long as I live. Right? That's what I thought. I'm like, that's it. And then everything came crashing down. And I'm like, dude, if I'm going to buy a Trout, why not buy it now? I'm still under the impression that cards are the hobby's just now starting its leg up. Like just now is turning into what it was when we were kids. And I think it has years to run of us collectors growing in droves. And that's not just why I bought these cards, but it gave me the confidence to, okay, well, these cards are a quarter of the price they were a year ago. Like literally, I mean, it's kind of nuts how expensive the things got. I thought it was crazy. And then when things crash, I go, well, now's my chance to get some Trout cards. Why not? So I did. And I stuck with buying his early cards. And this one is the one I fell in love with. It's my favorite Trout card of all time. Let me take this. Actually, I'll show this version right now. And that is the 2013 Topps. Not this one's opening day, but just the regular Topps or Topps Chrome. Any of them work, but the one with the rookie cup. And I love this image of Trout. I mean, dude. This is the card I fell in love with. And this is my ultimate rainbow. I have more copies of this card, even more of this than the Judge 2022. It's the most I have. Like when you go across the board with Chrome and everything else that goes, minis, I have more copies, examples of this card. And I try to get all numbered or at least refractors. I have one of the only base cards I have in a 10, and it was like $23 when I bought it, was this card. But this one's numbered out of 2013. So this one is a sick one. Look at that. I mean, this is when I just got into modern. Literally, Mike Trout was the first guy that I started buying ultra modern. Now, I had been buying them in boxes for ages back in the day, but I took a huge gap on modern for years, 10 years. I didn't buy any of it. I just buy a case every year and open it just for fun for Christmas, but I wasn't collecting it. I would just sell it and keep certain cards, but I wasn't collecting it. And now I'm having the time. I'm having so much fun. This is the blue Walmart. It's just awesome. I love it. I have so many. This is probably my favorite. I mean, the mini one is my favorite, and I actually have 2 examples of the mini numbered to 60, which is ridiculous. I got crazy. Anytime I saw one up to this day, I would pull the trigger. And now I'm finally weaned myself off. I haven't purchased one of these in the last couple months because I have so many. Purchased my Trouts, but this is the gold, and I got it in a Gem Hit 10. This one's numbered out 2013. And I have 2 minis, which are numbered to 60, I think. 62 or something. It's ridiculous. Something stupid. But that's how I'm rolling. I'm having a good time with this modern. So, I mean, I've got these other 3, so I'm just going to put them up. These are Chromes. And since I got them right here, sorry, I'm bumping the camera. I mean, I was going to do another... I wasn't sure which one I was going to share. I know you guys don't want to see a million modern, so I'll just put them out like this. Shout out to Shane, Shoebox Legends, gave me this card right here. refractor version. Like, dude, come on. That was my first Topps Chrome, I think. And then I was like, Topps Chrome. Whoa, wow, yeah, I forgot about Topps Chrome. Okay, guys, that's what we got. I got rainbows galore, and I have so much fun playing with my cards, and now I have so much fun sharing this joy with you guys. And Ken, thank you for putting this on. Got me thinking for the last couple weeks, or however long it's been going on. Like, I've been in the water thinking about what rainbow I'm going to share and what cards, and I had a blast talking about them. So double shaka, check out Ken. It'll be in the description. Click on the link and let's get him to 1,000. Okay, have a great one, you guys, and be inspired. Do not be influenced. We're all just collectors, and there's no such thing as a professional collector. We're all speculating and having fun building our masterpiece collection. Shaka.